Hi everybody, welcome to Craft with Norma. Today we're going to make some tea bag paper. And the reason I'm going to show it you is because I've just finished doing a journal which was actually sponsored by Graphic Fairy. And in it I've made this little wallet out of tea bag paper, and I thought someone's bound to ask me how did I do it, so I thought if I did this, just this quick little demo on how I made it. Now it's not my idea, I've seen it somewhere else. Don't ask me where I've seen it, but I have seen it somewhere else. Somebody else do it, and I thought what a good idea. Put it at the back of my mind, and then when I wanted to make this little wallet, I thought, oh right, I'll have a go at making that tea bag paper. And it is so simple. You just got to be patient, so you've got to drink lots of tea. Now my tea bags are actually the ones that are like sort of pyramid shape, but if you open them and empty them, they will actually come out as rectangles. So I've collected the tea bags, let them dry, emptied the tea out of them, and then opened them up so they're this sort of colour. Now because when I make my cup of tea I have milk in it, so they become this really nice stained. If you just have the tea itself, they come out as just a little bit paler. But it doesn't make any odds, it's whatever sort of like takes your fancy. So I'm going to try and end up with something that's like this as a sheet. Now if you want to, you can, if you're very, very careful, actually peel this off the backing paper like I've gone and done there. But I don't want that, I want it to be quite strong and quite robust. So all you're going to need is some parchment paper or greaseproof paper, which comes in the UK, it comes in a roll, and we normally call it greaseproof or baking paper. That's what you're after, so it's got sort of like a coating on it so things don't stick when you're baking. Then you're going to want a brush, and you're going to want some glue of some description. Now then you can use PVA glue, or in this case I had a friend who was doing some decorating, and she had some of the ready-made decorating paste left over, and I scrounged some off her and I put it in a pot, so I'm going to actually be using this. But you can use any glue. The ones that you can't use is probably one of the glue sticks. I wouldn't recommend that, but a PVA glue, a Mod Podge, something on those lines is fine. And it's just so easy. So you just get a little scoop of your glue, and you just start to put your glue onto your greaseproof parchment paper like so. Place your tea bag down and just run some extra glue on the top of it so it seals it. And nothing could be simpler, to be honest. And we just start to build it up. And what we want to do is actually layer it on top of each other so they have got adhered to each other, and we don't want any sort of like empty spaces. And we just go glue underneath it and then on top of it, and we're going to slowly just build that up like so. And you're better doing it in a selected area. So you can do some that's lengthwise and some that's horizontal and some that's vertical. Makes no difference. It's probably better to do it alternate like that, if I'm honest, because you haven't got then the same areas that are sort of weaker. It's a bit like when you're building a brick wall. So I'm going to do 2 vertical and 2 horizontal, and then move on to the next stage. And it doesn't matter if you've got lumps and bumps, because I quite like the texture of the paper. Now if for instance I've got a little area just there, I don't know whether you can see, let's try and bring this down a little bit. So you've got a little area here that's got no tea bag paper on it, so all I'm going to do is just rip a little tiny bit off and just make sure that that is glued over it, so it's quite secure. There we go. So it's not particularly hard at all, in any way, shape or form. There we go, and we're just going to build it up. And you keep doing this until you've got your paper totally, or your greaseproof parchment paper totally covered with your tea bags as such. Now obviously if you've got round tea bags you can use them, but it's just going to be a little bit harder to make sure that you've got no little gaps. And I'm sure if you ask someone else who uses tea bags, if you could have their old tea bags, they might look at you a bit strange. Because I've got a friend who did that with her partner. She's got a wood stove, and she'd put her tea bags on the wood stove to dry. And her partner came in and she said, "Oh, do you want a cup of tea?" And obviously he said yes. Then he saw the used tea bags drying on her wood stove, and I think his first impression was that she was going to reuse her dried tea bags. Obviously that's not what her plan was, but he did panic a little bit when he said yes to a cup of tea, and then suddenly thought, oh, is she using used tea bags? Are things that bad? There we go. Now with the tea bags you'll see we've got some little bits of the tea that fall out. Now I don't mind having these little bits of tea that fall out, because again I just think that it gives a little bit of texture, so I don't mind if the little bits fall out at all. But if you want to be extra sure that you haven't got any of these, I suggest you take the tea bags outside and give them a really good shake and a crumble, and then you won't have any issues at all. Okay, and this is all you do, and you just keep building it up. Now I'm going to do it this way for that one there, like so. And then all I do with mine is I just put it somewhere warm where it can dry, and wait to actually use it. So as I say, I just wanted to show you how I did it, because I thought that when somebody sees the latest video that I've done, I have got this tea bag paper, and there's bound to be somebody who will want to know how I've done it. And that's basically it. Let's just go back up again. Here. There you go. And you just let it dry, and eventually it'll dry and it'll be quite sturdy, quite strong. And you can use it to cover books, you can use it to make envelopes, little wallets. Well, the world's your oyster really. So just let it dry, and hey presto, you'll have your tea bag paper. Okay, thanks very much for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're not, why not join us? I'd love you to be in our little subby gang. So thanks very much for watching, and speak to you soon. Bye.